Hello again, everyone. It's Nick Michalak and the spectacular Steve Frazier.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank
you. We have an upswing now in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise.
We've
done everything possible to scrub the last one out of our memories.
Oh, Jesus.
So
yeah, here we go. All right, let's do a good one.
Obviously, it's the 2003 Platinum Dunes version. So, guys, get your own copy of the film, synced up to the timestamp of 0, and turn on some subtitles to follow along. And we'll give you a countdown to sync up. So, in 3, 2, 1, play.
So here we have the 5th consecutive telling of the exact same story.
Yes.
No. I mean, I guess 2 was the most divergent.
Yeah, in style and everything like that, yeah.
And in story as well, I mean.
Yeah. It didn't follow the same beats.
Right. The other ones.
Overall, whatnot.
The other ones, well, I did have a dinner scene and all that shit, but the plot wasn't your basic...
carbon copy.
Right. And then 3 and 4, obviously, were that same formula to diminishing returns, shall we say?
Extremely so.
And then, 15 years goes by, or whatever it is, and we have this.
Yeah.
Which,
bring back old Leerhsen.
Yep. And...
She gets paid this time.
I think this was probably the first of the
big remakes.
The remake boom.
Yeah.
This was like the one that really kicked it off.
Right. I mean, it was such a thing at the time that I remember very clearly there was a lot of kickback off of this. Like, Michael Bay involved with a Chainsaw Massacre film. It's like his style of filmmaking, all that type of stuff, just like it's so much the complete opposite of what you had with Tobe Hooper's original, and people were very sort of protective of that original film, and just they were just like at the drop of a hat, people were just like having none of it, and there were like comments from like Bay or whatnot. It's like we're kind of saying stuff that didn't seem like it lined up with what the original film was. Like, oh, we're not going to be as gory or something like that. It was just things that were said in press and stuff like that that didn't rub people the proper way for it, but still made over $100 million.
Right. Yeah.
So fuck you.
And we already have, I mean, it's set up kind of as a sequel a little bit. Kind of.
Well, there was a few different things. Well, mainly in terms of like the lineage or whatnot. They wanted to try to present it as much of like a true crime story in such a way.
Right.
So that's why they got this kind of Fox sort of archive footage and kind of playing it up a little bit here and there, and they changed the names of the family, stuff like that. So they're almost playing it off as like this is much more, if you're going to buy into that sort of, say, kayfabe or whatnot.
Sure.
If you're going to buy into that a little bit more, this is probably being like, we're being much more true to what would have really happened. So
right.
So it gives it enough of a spin to like, okay, we can freshen up a few elements here and there, and not be as attached to the original script as we could be. So they're giving themselves a little room to flex into different ways.
This guy was, he had a run on 24 for a while. He was also in 6 Feet Under.
Yeah, 6 Feet Under, Eric Balfour.
And these two are just going to bone in the back of the van. This guy was in something else too, and I can't think of it.
I know the girl back there making out, she was in Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows, which didn't go for terribly well.
No, it did not.
Still has no Blu-ray release. And there's a whole wonderful video online, you can check it out, but the studio butchered the crap out of that. There's not they didn't release the version of the director wanted the film to be. They fucked it all up. A little Skinnerd here.
I'm not a fan of this song.
it's kind of little played out over time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really. I'm really over it.
Yeah, I did see Skinner a good 2001, 2002, whatnot. So they
had several original members.
Still had a fairly full lineup at the time. Yeah. Jessica Biel has been someone who's kind of just fell off the map in such a way. I haven't seen her mentioned in anything in forever.
She's the one that's married to Timberlake, right?
Well, I don't know. I can.
Didn't she just have? That's her, right? Am I wrong?
Oh,
I'm 98% sure that she just had a second baby with Justin Timberlake.
Checking.
All right. You'd think I'd know this. I'm a mark for those boy bands.
Oh, you're correct. There's one child.
I swear that I think she's either pregnant or about to have a second one or just had a second one.
Well, Wikipedia just lists them having a single child so far, but any which way, I'm not gonna.
Either way,
biography right now.
What a beautiful couple that is.
She looks fabulous in this film. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, she's a 10.
Yeah, it was so much the thing that the whole start of the Platinum Dunes thing was obviously Michael Bay wants to make a bit smaller budgeted films to allow some other filmmakers who don't have much as a film track record yet to come in and start working on some projects with his clout and everything.
So it's a developmental territory, so to speak?
Yeah. And so it's like it was feeling like we need to. At this point in time, we need to get back to kind of true raw horror in a certain way.
Yeah. Well, yeah. At this point,
this is just kind of the closing off the wake after Scream, and you got I Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legend, and all these kind of horror films that they're not going over terribly well, and they're kind of aping the Kevin Williamson style, not doing very well. So it's kind of burned out from that.
Isn't this also, though, the era of
The Ring
and The Grudge and that Japanese supernatural horror?
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this. I rewatched The Ring not that long ago, and I liked it 10 times more than I ever liked it back then.
Okay, because I saw it in the theater, I thought, at least by the end of the film, I was terrified of it, but when I rented it on DVD, it just didn't do as much for me. Maybe it was because I was watching it on a Saturday morning or something.
Sure. But I just remember thinking that it was slightly overrated, and it was kind of, I don't know, it was a stretch for me, and it didn't quite make sense logically.
Okay.
And I gave it a shot, and I'm sorry that we're talking about The Ring,
yeah.
but it's the era, right? It's a...
Right. What's going on in the genre at the time.
Right. The number one song on the radio was that I watched it again, and I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it this time around.
Okay.
And so, to that point, was this the very first Platinum Dunes?
Yes.
I thought so. And what a way to kick it off, right?
Yeah. Because when I saw this at the time, it's like, yeah, this is kind of what we really needed at the time in a certain way. Just kind of getting back to something it's a serious, hardcore, graphic horror film. Because we hadn't got that a lot.
Right.
It just gotten the genre had gotten a little kind of flimsy in a lot of cases where things just kind of, they weren't as good, they weren't as scary. I wanted something that was scary again.
They had a bad case of the 90s.
Yeah.
And... This was, you're right, it was kind of a turnaround deal. And, again, here we have...
Final Destination films, but, they weren't this. They're not intense, visceral horror films.
Here we have a... this is kind of the hitchhiker role, right?
Right.
And again, like I was saying during Pet Sematary Remake, where when you change it up...
Yeah.
And... now we're telling a different story.
Yes.
It's the same skeleton.
Yeah.
But, this isn't Ed Neal the hitchhiker.
Right.
Because of that, I don't know what's going to happen.
Right. And they said, you can't recast that role. You can't do that role again because how do you find someone to do that anywhere as good as that I did back then? You can't.
Right.
You can't redo that. So you got to find something different in a way that in this version.
I love this shot of the tree, which actually looks like the 6 Feet Under logo. Anyway.
But I think in this version, what they do with this hitchhiker kind of facilitates more plot as we get into.
Yeah, I mean, this is clearly somebody in distress who, you know, the whole...
Been through some trauma.
You're going the wrong way. You know, that kind of thing. I don't... Oh.
Yeah.
She just pulled a gun out of her twat. I mean, that is a fantastic way to start a movie. Mm-hmm. And this is a Michael Bay shot if there ever was one.
And this is all done practically. They did quite a few takes to get this to work like this.
To pull the camera through?
Yeah, there's no digital effect there.
And the vomit, and this, it's all one shot.
And it's Daniel Pearl.
Amazing.
He's filming this. Cause
this is a Daniel Pearl shot right here. The low to the ground, shooting up.
Yeah. And Pearl had been the cinematographer for the previous productions of Marcus Nispel, who's directing this one.
Right, okay.
He shot his commercials and music videos and everything, so how much more...
It's perfect.
Perfect of a sync-up can you get? To have the same cinematographer who did the other film 29 years earlier.
I mean, it's wonderful. And it looks great. This movie looks great. The colors are rich.
They're rich, but there's the nice sort of kind of little
dusty,
drained out, dusty type of thing. It's a little. It gives you a certain sense of the dryness of the environment.
I don't know how I would react.
You can't know.
I mean, they're all doing a great job.
Oh, yeah.
And I like that they all have slightly different reactions.
Yeah. He doesn't want Jack All to do it with any of this.
Right. And this is...
Yeah, they're smuggling pot over the border.
Right. But he's also...
Yeah, he's twitchy as hell.
He's twitchy, and he's kind of being presented as maybe not the most mentally sound of them, so I guess it's kind of the Franklin role, I guess.
A little, yeah.
Oh, the pot pinata.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
He's like, fuck it.
And there's a bowl in the middle of the... I mean, these camera shots are so beautiful.
Just picturesque stuff, man. I mean, I know plenty of people just like they don't want to. They don't have a care for the Platinum Dunes versions. A lot of people's like, it's too slick, it's too polished, stuff like that. I mean,
I can understand that.
None of the sequels ever replicated the same tone of the original film. So it's like, I just don't. The original Chainsaw was such a sort of everything was, despite any criticism I had from it, is like a lightning strike. You can't really replicate exactly what that did.
Right. Look at the light in this.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the style of that whole thing, how it just feels raw and gritty and whatnot, is like it's almost, if you tried to replicate it, it would almost feel too fabricated.
Right.
Too constructed, too kind of like plotted out and stuff like that. Just like, it was such a running gun type of like figuring
guerrilla style,
figuring it out as you go along type of thing. You can't really. I mean, sure, you could shoot on 16 millimeter again, but it's just like there's too much random elements to just kind of hit off in these places to make an instant classic. You just can't really approach it from that same angle again. You do have to find something else that kind of, especially when you got all these studios, they want to capitalize on it and make something that was a big money maker. You got to make it in a certain way that's commercially appealing to the decades, the new generations you're appealing to. So
the next generation,
yeah. But anyway, just like you couldn't make it the same way in 2003 you made it in 1974 because it wouldn't sell anywhere. So, I mean, I understand people like, okay, that doesn't feel right to me. I don't like how the film looks. It doesn't evoke the feeling I want from Chainsaw Massacre. But as we've talked about a lot of remakes this year, to update the whole thing and find a new way to put a new angle on it, and you have to put your own stamp on it.
Yeah, and if
you're going to replicate every little aesthetic and style and all this stuff, it's like, why bother?
Well, exactly. I mean, it has to be better than or different than.
Right.
And in this case, it is slightly different than, but, it's... The idea here is, what if we took that idea from back then, and what if they had the technology and the ability to make a slick Hollywood movie?
Yeah.
What would that have looked like?
Yeah.
It would have looked like this.
Yeah.
And to me, that works.
Right. I mean, even Hooper, he never made another film that was exactly like that again. He evolved as a filmmaker and got more resources and made more polished films.
That moose, by the way, is badass, hanging on the wall.
So, not even just Chainsaw 2, but just the quality of what Tobe Hooper would produce after that is not the same style of film he did for the original Chainsaw Massacre film. So even he was not like precious that's the type of film I want to make every single time I step on the set. So
this is great, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, they just want to report.
Mm-hmm. They just want to call up the thing, get the hell out of here, and be done with it. As anyone would. They don't want just they didn't really ask for any of this to happen to them. It just happened.
And everyone is
move on with their business.
Everyone is decidedly creepy.
Yeah.
That they're encountering.
Yeah. And it's a little bit of that kind of like thing we did on Cemetery. Not as much, but it's like, okay, there's a certain style, there's a certain quality of people here that are not your familiarity. It's definitely a different style of community and environment that you're in that you kind of don't fit into. You very much are an outsider here.
Yeah, and they feel like outsiders.
Yeah.
And the lighting, I just can't get over how good the lighting is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Pearl was just outstanding. Ooh. This Dodge van is so old. Then again, it's 1973, and I feel like it's old for then. Although they just covered her in some newspapers.
Yeah.
Oh no. Again, realistic though.
Mm-hmm. People was like, can I just ride on the roof?
I mean, I guess I understand the empathy that they possess, and they want to report everything and make it official.
Well, right. It's Balfour's character. There's like, okay, he's
the driving force behind
a little bit. I mean,
moral goodness.
He's got his girlfriend there that's going to expect him to kind of stand up and have a certain morality.
Look at the brains all over the place.
More brains.
And there's some big drums that.
Right. But yeah, it's like, I think Biel's character's name, I think it's Erin, that she's kind of like
we're not going to tolerate just dumping her on the side of the road.
Right. Like, I'm with you because I think you're a stand-up guy and you have a certain morality about yourself. She's not going to stand for him just kind of doing something despicable like that. If
that was our daughter, we'd want a funeral for her. Right. Oh, see? Right here is that conversation.
Right.
Great touch there.
And my van. My van, my choice. Yeah.
Where do you stand? Dump her or call the cops?
As a guy watching the film?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying, like, if you're in this position, what's your vote in this?
Say call the cops?
I'm dumper! Okay, here we go. Look at this. This is great. This is why we do this, folks. We're having a good time.
I just don't know if I can go off and go to a freaking Skinner concert and enjoy myself when I have the thought of a corpse I just dumped on the side of the road.
There's the line, just exactly like this. And I forgot that about the parents. That was me freestyling, and she says that. So, man, I haven't seen this in a long time.
Yeah, I watched about like the first half of it the other week. Just get
a feel.
Yeah. What's going on with that doll of theirs?
Yeah, I don't. We got some crazy set decor. A lot of goofy dolls. So this is where they this is where they directed the lady at the diner told them to go here.
Yeah, because that's where they called the sheriff. Said sheriff would meet them here for it.
And of all the people, she's going to be the one to like go searching around for the person that she thought she just saw run by. Mm-hmm. Unless she thought it was like a dog or something.
Well, we've already kind of set up that she's the one with the sort of moral driving force of things. She's the one influencing to push them to call the cops and all these different things. So it's like she's our sort of moral center.
Moral compass?
Film. Yeah.
And I suppose maybe she thinks it's another person in danger.
Possibly.
It's a big old
wrench type of thing or something.
There's a word for that. Halligan? Is that what that is?
I've never heard that term before.
Oh.
I do not know.
Oh, an opossum! Shout out to my best friend Randy, who's scared to death of possums.
That is a Halligan.
Look at me. I know something once in a while.
Bob Vila right here, man.
I couldn't tell you exactly what it's for, but I want to say it's some sort of like trucking thing. But Halligan, I called it. Man, Biel's looking good.
Oh, just too much.
I mean, this is... Okay, they're going to come around the corner and see that and not all freak out? Like, in this scenario, I'm running the other direction.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe it's because he's a kid.
Probably.
You know, kids are creepy. Especially ones that have teeth like that. Like, it almost looks like he's got something in his mouth that... I'm sure he does.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, it's changing the shape of his face.
Yeah.
This guy's been in something that I've seen recently, and I can't put my finger on it. Yeah, I don't know. There's something creepy about this kid. If this was 03, he was probably born in 95 or so.
Maybe.
I mean, he's 25, 28 years old now, this kid. I mean, he could, in theory, have a son the age that he is here. Man, I can't even tell you how big Leonard Skinner would have been in 73.
Is that right after the plane crash, I think?
I feel like it was right before. Because they were talking in the car about wanting them to play Freebird. And I think... Now, I am not well versed on my Leonard Skinner. But I think that Freebird was on the album.
It was 77. So.
Oh, okay.
So this is a few years beforehand, from where the film was set.
Okay. But man, they had to have been kings of the world around, or at least in the South.
Oh yeah.
I love that the kid's poking the dead girl with a stick. Outstanding. I mean, here's a Danny Pearl shot.
Right.
There's a Danny Pearl shot. Like, he's got... Like, I couldn't... If you said, what's Danny Pearl shot like? I mean, I could kind of, say, it's low to the ground, it's artistic, but when you see him, you go, that's it.
Wide angle.
Yeah, that's it right there. You can just... And this is like a plantation.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, again, a slightly... just enough of a difference.
Right.
Because anybody that lives in this house compared to somebody that lived in that farmhouse...
Yeah.
Not the same family.
No.
Well, all right then. I mean, this guy's creepy.
Oh, yeah.
That is awesome. This is a get off my lawn situation. Oh, yeah. Super old wheelchair. Wheelchairs are creepy, especially the older you get. He's missing a couple legs. That's creepy. Like, there's just enough little things that are mildly creepy that add up to being an ambiance that you're like, I don't know if I like this. I feel uncomfortable. Each of them on their own wouldn't be an issue, but synergistically, I don't want to be here right now. Dialed rotary phone. I guess it's 73. Never mind. That dog. It's like, ugh. There's the sheriff. He's parked weird, like he'd been drinking the night before. And here we have...
We have a legend right here.
Mr. R. Lee Ermey.
Sourpuss here, man. You don't want to fuck with this guy.
Oh, the dip. Gross. Ugh. Not a lot more gross than that, really.
No.
I can tolerate a lot of gross shit.
It's just a bad habit.
That's not one of them. Not one of them. Great detail on the broken glass with the fragments of hair and... I mean, what a smart-ass line.
Mm-hmm.
And does she not know that the sheriff is literally outside?
No.
It is outside, right? of this? Because they're all together.
Well, not right outside this place. They had to walk past the field.
You're right.
Oh.
Oh, need a little rust out or whatever. CLR.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. He was emptying his...
catheter.
Oh my god. Also gross. Oh, who dat? You're right. I missed that part about them walking to here.
Yeah.
I just kind of had it in my mind that they were all together, but again, in the original, they separate.
Yeah.
Makes sense. They're doing a ton of close-ups on that. I mean, he's outstanding.
Oh, man.
And his attitude is so not anything like what a sheriff should be.
Oh, no.
Let me tell you about where she was hiding it.
Oh, I like that beat.
Where he puts it in his holster? As if it was his originally?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of those things. Like, he didn't say anything. Yeah. He didn't have to.
He's grabbing a little something for himself here.
There's pigs in the house. Pigsty might not have been the right... That seemed like a poor joke. I also don't know if anybody in this family can operate a Singer sewing machine. Because I know that I can't.
Oh, no.
I knew how to work a sewing machine, like, when I was a kid. But, I mean... And you're telling me that Leatherface knows how to use one? That's the implication, right?
That is.
Is it also the implication that Leatherface is watching cartoons in this next room?
Whoa!
Okay. I like the spasming, the twitching, if you will. And here we have... I mean, that was the same beat, but the get to was different. So, you know, to me that works because you know you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
And unlike Pet Sematary, they didn't tease you with like the doorway or something to make you think like, oh, this is the scene where X is going to happen.
Yeah.
God, I love the chunks of brain. That's the best.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good. And I mean, I don't know... Like, if you take Full Metal Jacket out of the equation...
Sure.
Is he really anybody in cinema? You know what I mean? Like, does he become beloved the way that he is?
Well,
this saran wrap.
Well, kind of half the thing was like after that became so iconic, there were at least a couple of times where they just had him parody that. Like in The Frighteners from Peter Jackson, he's playing basically the same character in a comedic fashion there.
Sure.
So every so often they just have cast him out of that.
Oh my God. I mean, it's a similar kind of character here, but it's not.
Yeah.
The sarcasm is similar.
Yeah. But it's sleazy, it's grimy type of character. He's got a sinister undercurrent going on.
Right. Is that a thing in 73?
A peephole thing, or?
Yeah, but moving one.
I don't know.
Like, obviously, peepholes have been around for forever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that one legit, like, turned. Like a spy cam.
Yeah.
I mean, the house is not flattering. You know what I mean? It almost looks deserted.
Yeah.
What a great move of wrapping her in saran wrap. I would have never thought of that. I probably wouldn't have saran wrap on me in the van either, but...
You'd probably need a couple of rolls to get it around that much.
I mean, he is exactly the kind of person you don't want to give a badge to.
Oh, hell no.
And a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of the patriarch, I guess, right?
I think so, yeah, kinda.
He's the cook in this scenario?
In a way, yeah.
I mean, granted, he doesn't work at the gas station or the diner or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Although, is he married to that lady with the...
I have to find out later, I don't know.
Okay. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen this. Oh, box of ears. Just what everybody needs. Some people have buttons, needles and pins.
Some eyeballs.
Right. He's got eyes and ears. And Balfour doing a very slight twitching of the finger. It's good. Oh.
A little jelly.
A little vase. Oh, look at that guy.
Yeah, fuck him.
Petroleum white. Lots of teeth. They made a very conscious decision to put her in a white wife beater.
Very much so.
Like, you know, we're not going to exploit, but we're going to accentuate the fuck out of everything you got. It does no good to leave them to the imagination in this scenario.
Uh-huh.
Now you're going to be sick? That would be frightening. And you know what they've done a good job of doing here? Mm-hmm. Is they had a problem.
Yeah.
Dare I say an objective.
Yes.
To get a hold of the sheriff, report this dead body.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll argue that she's our main character.
Yes.
So now we're not at the midpoint. Oh,
now we're still a bit away.
A little bit of ways, not quite. But which is interesting because here there was the plot twist, kind of, where one problem was solved at the exact same time that another problem was created.
Yes.
Sheriff came, kid's gone, great, now our friend is missing.
Mm-hmm.
Which then creates a new objective, find Kemper.
Yes.
And we said this movie is roughly 100 minutes.
With credits of 138, yeah.
Okay. So...
Well, I estimate about 135 or so.
So in about 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, we'll get to our midpoint.
Yeah.
We will see if there is another defining moment that can be actually called our official midpoint.
Yes.
Because to me, that scene there, not this one, but
clubbing with over the head type of thing.
The Where's Kemper realization.
Okay.
To me, that's a great pivot.
Yes.
I can't imagine them doing a better one, but we'll see. Unless it's where they find and realize that they're in danger. That could be.
Yeah, because they go back to the house, and I think so when Leatherface first attacks them openly with the chainsaw. I think that's what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, and
we've got she's got a bit of a heel turn here.
Oh.
I mean, not really. I guess it's really not, because she's been the same,
Right.
They're kind of the ones that are trying to turn.
They want to cut and run. They just don't want to be anywhere near here anymore. They just want to screw off.
Well, they want to go see Skinner.
Well, yeah. But they're creeped out. They don't want to... They've already dealt with way too much here as it is.
I don't understand why they would want to leave without their friend. That doesn't make sense to me.
Right here. Sure that he was going to propose to her.
Okay.
It's a nice beat.
It's a little overused, I think.
Well, I read that there was a cut subplot where she was supposed to be pregnant in the film. That's why early on she says she's not going to smoke any weed or drink any beer or stuff like that.
I could see people having a problem with that.
Yeah. But I don't think it was... I don't feel like it was necessary to have it in there. So I think, in my opinion, I think it's fine that they cut it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another plot point.
Right.
That was good. Little diversionary tactic there. I don't know a fancy word for that other than that tool.
Oh. Probably like a tire iron or something?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Typically when I think of a tire iron, I think of just the single, but not the pinwheel. Huh. Yeah, there's something about the coloring that's like a... I called it rich, and I still think it's rich, but it's like a rich sienna tone almost.
Yeah.
That... I don't know. It feels like Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You've done your job, Danny Pearl. Those would be pieces of skin. Those would be pantyhose designed to look like skin. That looks like beef jerky with a finger. That looks delicious. That does not look delicious.
I wouldn't really be touching nothing around here.
Right, yeah, like... I mean, that looks like prime rib hanging from the ceiling there. Which, not a bad move, right? If you're... Well, we gotta hang a bunch of meat from the ceiling. Looks like a rack of ribs. I've been to barbecue places that look just like that. Huh. How did he get out of there alive? That's a good line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand from his point of view.
Yeah.
I also like that he's got a cane. This guy.
Yeah.
That's a great line. Starring what? It, you dummy.
There we go.
Well, that's 45 and change. So, still not... I mean, from a mathematical true midpoint...
It's a little ahead, you saying?
Yeah, a little early, but yeah, it's okay. Not everybody can be, like, on the minute.
Yeah.
And I guess the threat of death and the introduction, their introduction to this character, is a more solid structural midpoint than just
the launching point for the rest of the film. Yeah,
right. It's, I mean,
this is the real danger you're now gotten into.
Right. I stand behind an object.
Whoa! Chopped his leg off.
That old trick. I know a guy with a cane and a wheelchair, in case you need it. I stand behind an objective change as a solid... Like, if you're writing a story...
Yeah.
And you want your midpoint to be the objective change...
Yeah.
You're perfectly legal in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he would... Oh my God!
Yeah.
God, no.
Of everything in the film, those little...
Yeah. Woo! That hurt me with every ounce of my being.
Stitches your fingers up.
And my asshole puckered. I don't even know what I was saying. What do you mean, what? Oh, I was saying, wouldn't he have bled out by the time that he got even to the stairwell? I don't know if any character he's ever played has been sympathetic or trustworthy or...
None that I've seen...
I mean, completely ignoring all of their concerns to talk about that marijuana cigarette. He was a national treasure.
How's that for a shot?
I mean, it's beautiful. I'm not in love with that house.
No.
I mean, look at the blood squirting out in intervals there. Oh. If that were the case, he would have been dead by now.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh, shit. Nice. I like that beat.
I mean, if that... Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't you dare.
Oh, yeah.
You son of a bitch. He would probably pass out, I think.
Oh, yeah.
You know, in the spectrum of Leatherfaces that we have here, this is now the 5th version.
Yes.
We're going to have to rank here, I think, his level of wherewithal and his ability, his cognitive ability.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that really varies from movie to movie.
Oh, it's wildly.
I mean, the last time that we saw Leatherface, he had a mullet and lipstick.
Just wailing all the time.
All he did was cry. And when Zellweger told him to sit down and shut up...
Right, he was very obedient.
He did it.
Yeah, like a dog.
Like... Ugh. I'm not saying that I am afraid of this particular Leatherface character, but I definitely think he's imposing and
right.
He's threatening and there's danger involved. You know.
I mean, the guy who portrayed him, Andrew Bryanowski, he was Christopher Walken, sent him Batman Returns.
Yep.
Big dudes, huge shoulders, and whatnot. So he's got the presence. He's about 6'5".
Yeah, I remember us talking about that.
He's a beast.
And there's Balfour.
Uh-huh.
And he's pumping away on that singer.
Oh, yeah?
Susie Homemaker here.
And here's something...
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
It's not necessary. I think it just kind of... It creates too much of a humanized quality for the character.
I've always maintained that you don't have to explain things.
Right.
The whole reason... Now, most of the reason that Halloween works the way it does is because it's just a random act.
Yeah.
And he's just it's unexplained.
Yeah.
The music is the other reason that I think
yes.
Yes. But from a character standpoint,
yes,
you don't need explanation.
Right.
You know, I mean, if you have an explanation for a backstory, it's a good one. Like Fred Krueger has a great story.
Mrs. Voorhees.
Mrs. has a great story. But you don't need it.
No.
And my point is, if you're going to have it, it better be good.
Right.
To stand the test of time.
Right.
And I feel like Leatherface is definitely one that doesn't need it.
Right.
And is way scarier. Just the imagery. There's no talking. It's... if I don't understand why he's the way he is, then that invokes the
terror.
It could happen to me thing that I'm afraid of.
Right.
Like, as a viewer, I don't understand.
The less you understand his psychology and his psychosis, the more unpredictable his behavior becomes.
Right. Ermey is so scary. Ermey is scarier in this than Leatherface has been in the last 3 movies.
Yeah.
2 movies. 3 movies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he had to come in the whole thing and sit right on the spot where all the...
Right, and it's the same
squishy
gun.
Stuff is...
Attaboy. He is so imposing. He's drooling.
Yeah.
Does anybody, I mean, I guess in the moment I would probably also react the same way. And only now, looking back logically, I would think, why would he have handed him a loaded gun?
Which likely means it's not loaded.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Why would you even think about it? Now, to me, this moment right here is even scarier than the previous one.
Oh.
This is how you write a scene.
Yeah. Now you know you're so fucked.
Because now you have attempted murder.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy playing the character...
Oh, yeah.
That face is just... It's worth a million words.
Yeah, they were saying in the documentary, every time he pulled the gun out of his mouth, he actually threw up on cue. But it didn't really kind of show through in the edit. It just looked more like just kind of... the saliva kind of building up in his mouth.
What is this light from the back behind the house? I don't quite get that the house is glowing, but... I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. He just... No.
I mean, I guess the salt would have preserved it a little bit, but he'd be gone.
Yeah, he's just... No.
He'd kind of look like Tom Matthews from Return of the Living Dead by the time at this point in the movie. I don't buy that either.
No.
I mean, I guess it did lead to his own... Is he dead now?
I don't... I think he gets split open with a chainsaw later. I don't know.
I mean, the no leg, the back wound, and then the lift and drop on the back wound, it would have ripped him in half.
I mean, just on a cognitive wherewithal type thing, he wouldn't be able to.
No.
He'd be woozy.
He would have been
out of it at best.
Passed out from the salt pain.
Yeah. You just... No.
I mean, what a dick.
Oh.
Like, it's so well written because every line has a comeback.
Yeah. Ugh. Oh.
Man, mouth pain is the worst. Mm-hmm. Losing a tooth, I can't even imagine how awful that would be. Where'd she get the puffy coat?
Oh.
Oh, no, I don't know about that either. Now she's the Franklin. With the flashlight, you know.
Okay.
Maybe not, I don't know. She wasn't always a cop. She fractured a long time ago. Yeah, what is this light? There it is again. There it is again. See, here he's turning into Full Metal Jacket guy.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And, you know, maybe it's a chicken and the egg kind of thing that... Was he typecast in roles because he did that other one so well?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, there's probably plenty of other, you know, scary leading men that could
There goes the tire.
How does that happen? They had to have sabotaged the van.
Most likely.
There goes the window. What, me worry?
The
sparks are good. I like that. The hell's that character's name?
Which one?
The Mad Magazine guy.
Alfred?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds right. Newman? Alfred E. Newman?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. We got there. Why haven't we addressed the facial deformity at this point? I mean, did they show it to gain sympathy?
I think it comes up a little later on.
Well, I know, but I mean...
I'm just saying, that's when they bring it up.
Well,
they just haven't capitalized on it yet. Yeah.
I love it. Love it.
Oh. How do you even cope with that?
You don't. You lay down and die. And this is very, reminiscent of the original.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is the fact that they they unmasked him and showed you that he was deformed.
Yeah.
Creates a sympathy.
Yeah. Which is what I don't like about it.
And, right, because the audience should not have sympathy for your bad guy character, your villain. If you have sympathy for your villain,
yeah,
he's not a villain anymore.
Yeah.
And these people are awesome. The acting in this scene is so good. When I was a kid, my grandmother lived in a trailer like that.
Okay.
And it was I guess it was a double wide. And it didn't look all that pretty from the outside, but when you went in, it didn't look like your traditional trailer home.
Okay.
It felt like a single family home. It was weird.
Okay.
And maybe it's because I was a kid and didn't, But I feel like they really portray them as trashy.
Yeah.
In movies.
Yeah.
And my point is that some of them are really nice.
Well, I think back to Martin Riggs. He had a nice little...
Yeah, Riggs had a good one.
Good one going there. But yeah, usually it's...
a symbol of lower class.
Right. That's why old Demon, he was rocking a van instead of the trailer.
Well, yeah.
A little more high class. Medium class.
Well, sure.
Anyway.
Oh, I don't like that. Anytime you get somebody forcing a cup to your mouth. Who the hell would order tea anyway? I want an espresso. Something very off-putting about this woman as well.
Yeah. They're just kind of sitting out here at the edge of all this madness, and they come off as kind of oblivious to it all. It definitely creates more of that creepy undercurrent.
I like creepy undercurrent. What is that doll? It's weird. Oh, same, lady. Same.
there we go.
I mean, this lady's creepy. Mm-hmm. The fact that she's holding a baby is creepy. Of course it's not her baby. And we know that this character is sympathetic to moral causes, such as not abandoning your child and on the side of the road.
This might have been what cut pregnancy subplot was supposed to slightly connect to, maybe.
Okay.
Just to add something else in there, but like I said, it's not necessary.
No, you wouldn't have had to do it.
No, it works just as fine without it. All it does is make everything... obviously, there's plenty of things in the film that are uncomfortable, but there's certain lines to cross. So it's like, okay, you're going to make the main heroine in a slasher film pregnant. It just... I don't know, it just touches a bit too much on the nerve.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need that much. Look at Ermey. You're just... open and free, letting her breathe.
Well,
He's with no pants on.
Yeah, but his dong wasn't hanging out.
Oh no, well, I'm just saying. Getting
real intimate there.
Up close in there.
Yeah. And did we decide where that boy came from with the teeth?
No, I don't think so.
And she's the one from the diner, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Okay, I think this is where they get into all that deformity stuff.
But again, I don't want to know.
Right, I mean, they get into like, okay...
Which...
He had some kind of like cancer or something like that, and he got picked on. It's like, okay, again.
And then in the one after this,
right,
it's the whole movie's about it.
Well, even in the prequel, because Ermey stole the film so much, and that's how the fans reacted. The critics reacted so strongly to him. They made the prequel more about his character than it was Leatherface.
So then they had to come back and tell the story they wanted to tell.
I don't know.
Ow. Standing water in the basement's never a good idea.
No. Well, mosquitoes and...
mold?
Yeah.
Oh, teeth. And more petroleum jelly. An assortment of fingers. And that may or may not have been a flute, part of a flute. I mean,
I didn't know
that's kind of catchy, right? You lay the flute down and then put all the fingers above it. Ugh.
Yeah.
How he's not dead, I have no idea.
You're pushing it really far on this one.
I mean, they never really expanded upon the meat hook angle in the first one.
No.
Other than she's the one that I think came out of the freezer.
Mm.
But they didn't go to all this trouble.
No, they didn't get... They didn't. Just the whole thing. Like,
yeah.
Okay, if you get him off the hook, are you going to carry... This guy's at least 200, even without the lower half of his leg.
Yeah.
I don't think you're dragging him around.
Yeah, that knee down weighed 20 pounds, probably. And don't those hooks... Oh, God damn. Oh, God, no. Don't those hooks have that little barb on the end of it?
Oh, yeah, the little kind of curl back in or something.
Right,
like
that prevents you from lifting out.
Right. Spine is twitching right now.
And I like this, where she says, I can't. Like, she doesn't
have the strength to do it.
And he's asking her to basically put an end to it.
She can't do that.
Well, she's looking.
Well, she is. I don't know. She's gonna
pull the trigger, so to speak.
Cut his throat or something. I
mean, a gut shot, eviscerate him.
Oh.
Stick it right up his leg wound. I mean, you're making a production out of this after you went over and picked up the knife.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it would have worked better before she had the knife in her hand. Because guess what? Now she can do it all of a sudden, and she's going to stab him in the dick?
Oh.
And in walk 4 doctors with a miracle cure. And you're like, no, it's too late. Great scene there with all the blood.
Oh.
I mean, the matted hair. She's got it in her mouth. Oh, God.
Oh.
She could take a bath there in the basement standing
water. Well, I don't know. Probably a ton of bacteria there.
Oh, yeah. But it's not her
there's
blood.
There's a
bathtub. It's not her open wound.
Oh.
She's just dirty.
You get the hook, too, it looks like.
Yeah, maybe that's just the MO. You hang them on the hook. Oh, is this this is the guy?
Yeah.
Gun in the mouth guy?
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking it was Balfour.
Oh. You have a very different complexion right now if it was.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
You'd be like...
LG still...
LG, yeah.
LG was still up and dancing with no face.
Jeez, he took you forever to die, didn't he?
He knows how to make an entrance, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's an awesome shot right there.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of a Temple of Doom feel here where, you know, man, woman, child, catacombs. I don't know. It's maybe not, but I'm digging the production design here.
Oh, yeah.
The lighting is just awesome. And I don't know how many times we can talk about how horror films don't get any consideration by award shows.
Yeah.
But, I mean, tell me that Danny Pearl isn't worthy of discussion, conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, kick him.
Kick him in the nuts.
Bite him, sure. I mean, it all makes sense. I don't know what that's going to do, though.
Oh, there you go. I'll give you a few seconds so the chainsaw rips through it. Yeah, we haven't gotten the motivation for this lighting back here.
It's always
1,000-watt floodlight.
It's just backlit all the time. Yeah. Unless you're on the side, and then it's still like side lit, so it's always in the back. Cemetery nearby? No, just a gated residence. I see.
Yeah. I don't know how much the couch is going to do. He's got a window right there.
He's going to Jason Voorhees
fucking chainsaw
right through it. Look what your brother did to the door!
I was going to say, this is some of the best prominence of the chainsaw we've had in quite a few of these films.
Yeah, I mean, the last one might have had 0 chainsaw.
Yeah.
And what's different then in this one is that we don't really have a family of maniacs, per se.
Right.
I mean, at least as far as the characters are concerned.
Leatherface is kind of the only one that's, like, actively trying to kill anyone.
Sure, that's what I mean.
Yeah, to clarify it.
Which in some ways is better.
It kind of focuses the terror in a certain place.
Ooh, that's also. I mean, there's been some creepy. Oh, come on!
No.
Creepy crawlies, a little bit. There's been tense moments.
Just get your skin crawling.
Ermey is a different kind of scary.
Yeah.
But this guy seems to be the only real threat of death.
Yeah.
I guess Morgan, the nerd, would have argued otherwise, but...
Oh, yeah. Oh, just... Yeah.
The other lady put a gun there. She could put a rat there.
Huh. I remember in the theater this scene just being really goddamn tense.
Yeah, I don't think it plays as well here at home.
Yeah, probably not. But
I mean, I could see it being kind of a hold your breath moment.
Yeah, you still see the craft involved here. The tension, the hold your breath, to not give away where you are in the whole place, and all that type of stuff, and the rats all over the place. Just gives you enough
diversion.
Well, just enough nervous energy in the sequence. And the chainsaw just revving in her face is just... Man, I know that did kind of pull a couple punches with the MPAA. There's some sequences that are going to be a lot more. I think like this one was supposed to be a lot more to it or something. I think when he gets it here, there was supposed to be a lot more into it.
Oh, up through the dick!
Mm-hmm.
Oh! Stugats.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a lot more of that sequence, but I guess even Bay was kind of like saying like, okay, there's a certain point with the gore and stuff like that you could lose the audience if it's too much.
Yep.
You can.
Although, my argument to that is they've already paid their $9.
Right.
You have a captive audience in the theater.
Yeah. And I mean, even when I saw it, I felt like, okay, felt like they kind of pulled a couple punches. I felt like they could go a little further with some of the stuff. And it was a strange thing where, like, okay, why is there no... Why didn't they do an unrated on this one? I don't know. Which we have to get into on the setup for our prequel.
So do we think
commentary.
that... Do we know for sure that there's additional footage out there that expands on these scenes, or is it...
Well, I didn't watch any deleted... There are deleted scenes on the disc. I didn't watch them.
Okay.
But they did mention in the documentary on that they shot more graphic stuff that they did cut back on. But they only ever released the theatrical R-rated version.
Got it. This is one of those confined spaces shots.
Mm-hmm.
Gives you a little claustrophobia.
Yeah.
Again, Danny Pearl shot them low to the ground or, high point of view.
Right.
Like, I can't imagine how much time Danny Pearl spent crouching, laying...
elevated or something.
Right, like not standing upright.
Right.
Walking around.
Right.
Or sitting in that fancy chair that is next to the dolly track or whatever.
Yeah.
Some of those are really cool. Those like the chair lift that sits on the dolly track and like that's what I want. Mm-hmm. I want to get to the point where I'm moving around the set, but I'm also sitting down.
Yes.
Let's see. Is that beef or pig?
Yeah, I think this is all real. At least some of it is real.
Well, I guess I was asking if some of this was human.
No.
I mean, not in real life, but...
No.
Supposed
to be. I'm just saying some of these are real slabs.
Right. How terrifying would this be?
Mm-hmm.
Also, it would be so cold in there.
Oh, goddamn.
I mean, again, that wherewithal, the plotting and planning on his part. And, we talked about how Leatherface has become an actual character again and a threat.
Yeah.
The chainsaw is also a character.
Yes.
More so than the mom or the
kid or something like that.
Right.
Here or there.
Some of which are almost a red herring, because you're kind of like assuming that...
Something more sinister, something more threatening is going to come out of them, but they don't.
In which case, that would be another example of a change that's different than...
Right.
That works.
Right. And also the refreshing thing is that they decided we're not doing the dinner scene, because there was so much of things like... So much like the hitchhiker from the original. You can't really redo that.
Well, they tried 3 times.
And they try again in the prequel.
Well, go with what you know.
And so, I think that is probably the screenwriter, but also I think Nispel kind of like said, we can't top that. And there's not really any different way of doing it, so by your logic, let's not even do it. There's not really a place to put it here without restructuring everything to a certain degree. So
right.
They took what they had from the original and just followed along a different path of where the character goes here.
It doesn't look very natural either.
The mask,
yeah,
doesn't looks like a rubber mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, they never did as good as the original.
Correct. I would agree. Although LG's face in 2, when he just takes it and puts it on her or over his.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's more about what the character's about.
Yeah.
Than this whole sewing it together thing. Like, to me, that invokes a level of sophisticated thinking.
Yeah.
That is also not synonymous with a villain of this nature. Of this nature.
Yeah.
Like, if it was a criminal mastermind type character.
It's more Lecter.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yes. Who coincidentally was going after somebody who did that.
Exactly.
But again, Levine was a sophisticated criminal. This is supposed to be...
Buffalo Bill, yeah.
Right, yeah. This was supposed to be, he's a simple-minded hillbilly, essentially.
Yeah. And there
with
goes
one
the
arm.
There goes the arm.
That was his chainsawing arm.
Yeah.
Always be chainsawing. And he can't be.
No, he can't be.
No coffee for you.
Christ.
He doesn't even get the set of steak knives.
Christ. Just the people who said, I just can't sit down and sync this with the film and stuff because they won't sit through it again. For the last Chainsaw movie. And
we believe you have every right to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we thank you for sticking with us.
I'm looking to sell my copy up right now for as little, forever pennies I can do.
You got $1?
I just get the fuck out of here. I'm never going to watch that thing again. And this was the part where we mentioned before Gunnar Hansen was
correct
offered, and again...
He turned them down.
Thinking he deserves more money than what the role is worth. He turns it down.
And did they end up getting somebody?
I just think it's a rando.
Oh, just a guy. I mean, she would be so traumatized.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I think there was supposed to be like an extra sequence at the end of the film where she's like hospitalized and kind of sanitarium type of thing. Because I guess there was like urban legends or whatnot that like, what's her name from Marilyn Burns got like, she was traumatized from the making of the film and got locked up somewhere, and they're going to somewhat play on that, but...
I do like that they have her kind of in the same situation as the hitchhiker from the beginning.
Yeah. Full circle.
This truck driver role is bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah.
But still, Gunnar Hansen was kind of demanding...
I don't know, $50,000 or something
more bigger than his britches.
Yeah.
A little bit.
This would have just been a standard SAG pay rate.
Right, yeah.
For like a day's work or something.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been like $1,000 or something, whatever it is.
Like maybe it was Bill Moseley, I could argue for that because he had a fairly standard track record of being a actor at the time.
Right.
To have a career, to have an agent, do all that type of stuff, and so on and so forth. Hansen didn't even have a goddamn agent.
Well, he didn't really do much else, did he? I mean,
not that I'm aware of.
I mean, he had like 15 minutes of fame, and then...
Right.
Lived the rest of his life. Well, I guess he kind of became an author, and he did some other...
Okay. But as an actor,
right.
He doesn't have an agent or anything like that. Wasn't even a SAG member at the time, so... I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, Leatherface doesn't have any dialogue.
Well, no, he wouldn't have... If he had no, like, Hollywood acting gigs after that, he would have never gotten a SAG card.
Right.
Or if he did, he wasn't a regularly working actor at the time to maintain that for himself, so... See, that's nice. I mean, they set that up earlier with the van, and now she's trying to make that happen again for herself. It's nice screenwriting structure.
They told us the rules, that she knew how to do this. Mm-hmm. So when it happens here, it's not a surprise.
Right.
Is that what that hole's for?
I don't know. No clue.
To like get up there when the hood is open?
Possibly.
Because that makes a whole lot of sense. You
gotta get up there somehow.
She just called the engine a little bitch.
Oh, nice.
Where did she go?
Nice misdirection. She went into the cop car, I guess.
How?
Hmm.
I mean, it's a good counter. And oopsie. Oh my god. She really bounced over him there.
Yeah.
I don't know how he'd be alive.
Oh yeah, I mean that's so much of the thing is like between chopping off Leatherface's arm where he can't really use the chainsaw anymore, and now you kill off Ermey's character. Is like
who
do you bring back for a sequel? So you have to do a prequel if you want to cash in on this.
That kid might be a legal adult right now. And he's just going to one-arm it?
Why isn't he bleeding out?
Well, yeah, I mean, And here we got our bookend.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, I kind of like at the beginning that they set it up as a...
Yeah.
You know, news footage kind of situation, and then they tell you the story of what happened. Uh-oh. And I guess this kind of capitalizes a little bit on that found footage trend that was happening.
A little Blair Witch ending there.
Yeah, just enough to give it. That's the only known image. You just showed me 4 images. I don't know. I'm not buying it. I will say though that this is 10 times better than the previous outings.
Oh, just. One is it's a quality production.
Yep.
You don't have any of the weird stuff from part 3 where the director gets fired on Friday, gets rehired on Sunday, and Bob Shaye's fallen over himself to get the goddamn thing in theaters in 2 months. 4 is not even a question. They have like
it's nothing.
Piss all of the budget this thing had nothing going for it. This has a quality production. Bay knows how to run a goddamn production. Whatever criticism you want to give towards the guy as whatever you want to give to, the guy can run a smooth production.
Yep.
He knows how to demand and deliver and all these little things. I mean, it's a coherently put together screenplay. Everything just there's nothing to nitpick on that level, really. Everything flows. There's a causal action for everything that goes on in the entire story.
Yep. This thing begets the next thing, begets the next.
That's a consistent tone from beginning to end. Everything works off in that regard. So it's like it's a solid production.
Yeah, I mean it goes a little sideways toward the end, but yeah who cares, right? I mean, it just again, tell me a story,
right?
And it was different enough from the original story.
Yeah.
You know, there was no, like, family farmhouse or whatever.
Yeah.
Which that does make a reoccurrence in the 3D.
Here's your disclaimer here up front at the end.
Purely coincidental. So, yeah, I mean, I think if this was going to be the poster child of the future of remakes in the early, 2000s, like, oh, look at that!
Tony
you see
Caesar.
him? Tony Caesar! My guy! Wow!
Fabulous.
That's awesome. I wonder where he was. I wish I was paying more attention to, like, burn stunts or something. Was there any
There's
fire?
no burn stunts, no.
So he was
stunt coordinator.
Oh, okay.
He's the top guy here,
Top guy. Look at him.
He's telling other people who to take the bumps.
There you go. Anyway, for being the first one out to shoot, it's not bad. I mean, it's like...
Right.
If you say, oh, this is what Platinum Dunes is going to be, sign me up.
Yeah.
And then they made some shit.
They made some shit.
Not
all shit, but they made some shit, and some of the shit really stunk badly.
Right. And it's like, I mean, I don't like remakes to begin with. If you ask me if I would take a sequel or a remake, well, I guess I'd take a sequel, because it's at least an original attempt at something.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not be good, but at least it's something new.
Yeah.
And not the same idea again.
Right. At least hopefully.
In theory. Because all of the sequels in this franchise were the same over and over again.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
None of those sequels were scary. They weren't intense.
No.
They didn't have this kind of ferocity this film employs.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, this one was more scary than the original.
And it's kind of the best paced one of them, because we had so many problems, like, okay, it just takes so long for the story to get anywhere.
Right,
At least this one had, like you said, it had, like, almost like a
chain reaction.
Like a chain reaction type of thing. You weren't sitting around meandering around the plot for stuff to happen. They had this event happen, that begets this, then begets that. So they kept moving forward on the story from early on.
Yeah, I mean, all four. The second one's kind of better, but for the most part, the whole franchise lingers around to the midpoint.
Yeah,
and that's when the characters finally get into trouble of some kind.
Right.
And here they were just right out front with it. Like, hey, here's all these bad people. Mm-hmm. Or creepy people that you're not sure of.
Yeah.
To give you an ambiance.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I dig it. I'm going to say thumbs up on this one.
Yeah. But, see you later.
All right. Take care.
Bye.